Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Choose Commandos, Mormons, militants, and welcome to the 18th episode. Yes, we are finally legal adults in the state of New York, New Jersey, and probably a few other states. Yes, the 18th episode, or welcome for the first time if you're listening to this first time, to the groundbreaking, record-shattering, trend-setting, and podcasting innovating voice of the people. Yes, it is called the Yin and The Yang, ladies and gentlemen, a.k.a. the Mothership! Flagship show powered by the More of the Same network in association with Anti-USW Productions. I am the former two-time USW heavyweight champion of the world and lifelong martial artist known simply as Anthony Chu, a.k.a. Chuzilla, the ultimate thriller, all muscle, no filler. And on today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, we talk about two head-to-head MMA events. We get famous with the wrestling world, as if we weren't already, and we'll go into detail about that. We'll go through UFC 220 and Bellator 192. We're going to actually do something interesting and another historical first here in the Yin and the Yang, and we'll get into that as well. We have Raw's 25th anniversary coming soon, questions, a major shootout, and a progress report on my co-host right now. And speaking of that, what I'd like to have right now is for all you fat, ugly, out of shape New York and New Jersey Nimrods to keep the noise down while I show you what a real co-host is supposed to sound like. Hit the music. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he is the championship rated, slick hair faded, never female jaded, masturbated, owner, operator, guru of the More of the Same network, ladies and gentlemen.
Stiff upper lip.
He is Larry, my network has no shutdown, goddammit, so kiss my ass, Mormon.
No shutdown. We're running it's 24/7, 365, forever and ever till the sun supernovas. This will always be the More of the Same network.
That's why, ladies and gentlemen, it is called More 365.
Absolutely, baby. 24/7, all year round. There is no off season for the More
now,
man.
What do you make of this government shutdown deal?
It's a political. I think it's just a political pull by the Dems, by the Democrats. I find it odd that it was all done on the first year of the inauguration, and I think it's just a shame that we're putting illegals ahead of our military, and that is my opinion.
Okay, so you call conspiracy, basically.
Not necessarily conspiracy as much, just stupidness.
Well, let's put it this way. I find it really, really unusual in a sense that, you know, I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat or anything. I'm not trying to get very political, but let's call a spade here. These people that we elected, so I really think the majority of it is it's the people's fault for electing these people who can't get their shit together, who get paid six figures, get their salaries paid. They get their cost of living increases. I find that with federal government employees, they're paying 2018 bills with a 2009 salary. That's not fair to those people. It's the largest diverse workforce in this country. And at the same time, what I don't understand is that there are certain establishments that are now being state funded to operate. I mean, state funding federal operations or the feds it should be a conflict of interest. There should be a law that states that you can't do that. Because if an employee is under furlough, the thing about it is they're not getting paid until the shutdown is lifted. Yeah. So now these people are going in and they're working for free. And they're kind of working for free right now, because if the ultimate fuck you would be if the people in Capitol Hill vote and say, hey, listen, we're not going to give the federal employees retroactive pay during the shutdown, then you really got a big fucking problem.
Yeah, and that's an issue. That's a separate issue.
Yeah, and it affects people as a whole. It affects the military. It affects the vets. It affects so many people on a trickle-down scale that these people, and I don't care what political affiliation you have, get your shit together, motherfuckers, because this country needs to be operated, and it needs to be operated now.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe 2020 it's time for more of the same to take over the government and for more of the same to be established here in the United States.
What do you mean?
Can I count on your vote in 2020?
Are you going to run for...
I am announcing right now, right here on episode 18 of the Yin and The Yang, that yes, Larry Mormon will run for the presidency of the United States in 2020.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, this is a historical breakthrough right now in the podcasting world that my co-host, the owner of the More of the Same network, is throwing his name into the ballot and wants your vote to vote for him as president of the United States. Who's going to be your vice? You ever think about a vice?
Sarah Underwood.
Sarah, well, I'll tell you one thing. I would certainly, you would have my vote, brother, for sure. I just want to be.
You could be Secretary of Defense.
I like that. Excellent.
Feel free. I'll give you carte blanche for one action to blow up any country you want.
Wow.
You, my friend, you can hit the big red button.
Wow. I don't know if America should be scared or should I be honored? or vice versa, man. I've got to think about this one because Lord knows I'm not really sure exactly what I want to do. So, and if the FCC hears this, I have nothing to do with this podcast. So, the real co-host, my real name is Huang, just to let you know. And so, it's interesting. Has that little bastard calmed down now? Are you okay from the last time when he beat the living hell out of you in the last episode?
He did physically assault me. But I let cooler heads prevail. And seeing how, for some reason, he has the key to my lockbox at the bank, really not much I can do to him because I need what's in there. So for now, me and Huang are on the same page currently. But it's kind of odd because after he assaulted me last week, he got on the phone and started talking to a Kim Jong, I think. Kim Jung, I think he's saying the last name. Couldn't really make it out. So I don't know. He was talking to him on the phone though.
Okay. Okay. That's all I have to say about that shit.
I don't know.
Because quite frankly, man, I really, really don't want any part of this. And Lord knows this is not going to be good at all.
What do we got we got a good show on tap this week.
We do have a good show on tap here. The first thing, well, I almost forgot. We have a show to do. So last Saturday, basically, two MMA organizations went head to head.
Yeah, the same night, two different shows, huh?
Right. Very interesting. I caught both. I recorded Bellator 192, and because I wanted to see the UFC pay-per-view, because I saw my man DC fight, and we'll talk about both cards. What's interesting is that it's an interesting contradiction. And so let me cover the first thing. First thing is the idea that you have two rival organizations, right, trying to provide the best mixed martial arts and what the MMA game has to offer. Mm. One is already an established name in the UFC, and then one is a rising, up-and-coming organization that you can almost kind of refer to as a WCW. Okay. So you have a WWE and WCW, or like if you look at the Monday Night Wars, they're both major organizations now, and I can consider Bellator second, because they don't have the high-priced power production that UFC has, at least in that grand or larger scale. But they are up there. They are like a WCW. And what I find very interesting about both of them is that, last night UFC was a pay-per-view, and Bellator was free on what is now formerly known as Spike TV. They now call it the Paramount Network.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah,
Paramount, right? Network.
Yep.
So, while it's free and that's fine and dandy, you have a pay-per-view that really delivered. The last fight night to me was boring. In this pay-per-view, the undercards were very exciting. Both undercards were very exciting, and Bellator and UFC. And what I found was that the UFC main card, with the exception of the two co-main events, meaning the two title fights, every fight that was featured on the pay-per-view was literally a significant striking clinic, which means that every match that they put up, every punch or kick that every fighter gave was a significant strike that did damage, which is really interesting because they didn't just stand there and then just do like a 1-2 combination and then circled around the ring. They really, when they were hitting, And you saw some high-powered knockouts. In Bellator 192, you saw in the undercard of their show, this one guy gave a powerful liver punch that just turtled up this other guy. It was insanity, man.
Really?
Right, absolutely. So now you have the co-main event. So in the UFC side, you have Daniel Cormier. So DC fights Volkan. I don't even know how the hell to say this Swiss gentleman's last name.
Now, DC, is he the one that got into it with Cody?
Yeah. Daniel Cormier.
Okay.
Yeah. So DC came out, he fought, and DC basically beat this guy through technical strikes, got him to the ground, gave him the crucifix, put him in the crucifix position, and just kept pounding the shit out of this guy. And he has nothing to be, it was very emotional for DC. This guy, Volkan, has nothing to be ashamed of, And even DC said, you should be very proud, kid, because, you did really well and you stood and traded. DC really looked like he went, and I have to be honest with you, I'm a fan of his, but he really looked like he went to the Chris Jericho school of body conditioning. When he walked out of there, he looked like he drank a 6-pack of beer before he walked out.
A little doughy.
Little doughy.
Jericho wasn't that bad.
And DC was, but I mean, dude, the guy should have came in with a better physique, though.
47.
Yeah, I know. But, there are a lot of pro fighters and a lot of pro wrestlers at 47 who still have a good physique.
So DC came out.
So came out victorious. Beat the guy in the second round.
Okay.
And he was very emotional because he felt for so long that since he lost to Jones, he didn't really feel like a champion. He always felt like an interim champion or a fake champion. But, he really felt that he was a champion now. Mm-hmm. He's very happy. He doesn't want to think about his next fight. He just wants to see what comes. Now, on the Bellator side, believe it or not, their title fight was not the main event.
Really?
Their title fight was the co-main event. So you have Douglas Lima, who was the welterweight champion, who fought Rory McDonald, and Rory McDonald went the distance with Douglas Lima, and Rory McDonald, who's actually a training partner of George St. Pierre, he came out and is the new welterweight champion for Bellator. He beat him, a lot of ground game. They were both very good, but very good fighters. But Rory McDonald's shin, oh my God, it looks like it has severe damage because his shin basically expanded and swelled so badly it looked like he was having a baby.
Wow.
It was bad, man.
I can't even imagine what that looks like.
Holy shit. It was just unbelievable. And he could barely walk after the adrenaline, after it came down. So now you have, interestingly enough, I don't know if it was set up this way, the UFC and Bellator both had heavyweight main events.
Okay.
So the UFC pitted Francis Ngannou, who's I told you is like the African Ivan Drago. and he fought Stipe Miocic, who's the heavyweight champion in UFC.
Okay.
And then on the Bellator side, you had the American gangster Chael Sonnen fighting, Quentin Rampage Jackson. Now, here's what I find very interesting about both main events. They were both heavyweights. They both went the distance, except that one was a championship fight, so it went 5 rounds, and the other one was 3 rounds. Now, Ngannou was exposed for the fighter that he was. In other words, for those of you who didn't watch the fight or did watch the fight, you'll notice that he had no ground game. So Francis Ngannou, when he got taken down, he didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. I mean, excuse me for saying this, God rest his soul. I love you, Kimbo Slice, but Kimbo had no ground game. He
fight he lost as soon as he was taken down to the ground. That was it. Game over.
Mm-hmm. And Francis Ngannou was the same thing. Stipe Miocic has some type of either wrestling background or something, but he has a grappling background, and he just kept taking him down and pounding him out. Mm-hmm. And also Ngannou, when you wear that much muscle on you, he gassed out pretty much. Mm-hmm. Now, how interestingly ironic is it that Chael Sonnen fights Rampage, and Rampage falls victim to the same thing. Wow. Victim in a sense that both of them can strike. It's really interesting because both Ngannou and Jackson both can strike, and when they hit you, but when they get taken to the ground, they don't know what they're doing. Every time Rampage wanted to stand, and he hit Chael Sonnen many a times, what gave Chael Sonnen the win was the takedowns and the ground and pound. Mm-hmm. And both of them couldn't recover. Granted, one was a 3-round fight, one was a 5-round fight, but they both lost. So Miocic became still the champ, and Chael Sonnen advances in the heavyweight world Grand Prix tournament that is basically a literal reflection and stealing the idea of the old Pride Fighting Championship. Okay. Because every year Pride used to hold an 8-man tournament as well.
Gotcha.
So next up in April, and this is going to be a year-long thing, by the way.
Oh, wow. So it's almost like a King of the Ring.
Right, pretty much, except that it's scattered and spread throughout 1 year.
Gotcha.
So in April, it's going to be my man, Big Country Roy Nelson, fighting Frank Mir.
Okay.
Now, I love Roy Nelson. I'm a big fan of his because every time I hear the song now, Born in the USA, all I think about is Roy Nelson coming down to the octagon and knocking somebody out. He also proves that us fat boys can fight.
Us fat boys. You're not fat. Us fat boys can fight.
I was,
You were. You're not part of that group anymore.
Man, I still got a long ways to go, brother. I still got to drop another 35, 40 pounds, So that's and it was just now let me also mention one other thing, Larry.
Okay.
The broadcasting teams were very, very different. And I'm gonna say this. The UFC had Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith came over from Bellator and went to UFC as a commentator with Joe Rogan. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, Bellator 192 had Mike Goldberg, who came from the UFC.
Really?
Yes. And you know who his broadcasting partner was?
Probably Mauro Ranallo.
No.
Oh, no.
Well, he certainly as hell wasn't fucking Larry Mormon.
What?
All right. So, the program wasn't that good.
No, I'm saying Mauro Ranallo. He's done Bellator. He
has. But for some odd reason, they didn't give it to Mauro. They gave it to Big John McCarthy, the referee, Big John McCarthy.
I heard about that, yes.
And I got to be honest with you, he's good.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very good commentator. he really knows his stuff. I mean, the guy's seen so many MMA fights in his life and has refereed them that he knows the ins and outs, and he gives you a perspective that many don't know.
That's
and
cool.
what's interesting is that, and I find that the Bellator people have a better commentary, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Mike Goldberg is an original. He's been there since day one, right, in the UFC. So he's been around in the fight game for a long time, all right? And Big John McCarthy has been referee for the UFC since UFC 1, from what I understand.
Really?
Okay, right. So he really knows the game, and so does Goldberg. So you have one from a commentary perspective and one from an in-ring action octagon or cage side point of view. Now, over at UFC, and I'm not trying to knock Jimmy Smith, but Jimmy Smith, I think, was a former fighter or had a very short-lived fighting career, but he is more of, he was a reality TV show guy. He did Fight Science on Discovery.
Oh, wow.
And he's also, he was a co-host of that show. And, he is basically, in that aspect of things, but he's not looking at it from, like a refereeing standpoint, which he gave John McCarthy gave everybody a different point of view. Now, Rogan is just mouth. Let's be honest. Rogan, he's a BJJ practitioner, but listen, the guy's never fought. He's never been in the cage. He hasn't been in the UFC since day one. So the guy is more like, I hate to say this, but the guy's more like a supporting cast member.
Okay.
And then again, I'm also not a fan of Rogan, so I'm trying not to be biased here, but let's call a spade a spade.
All right,
but
fair enough.
All in all, a very interesting night for MMA. I found them to be, a very unique piece. So that was a really, really good program,
Good.
How, what were you doing on Saturday night? Anything good?
Good. I was helping my parents. They live in Brooklyn, and after over 5 years from the devastation of Hurricane Sandy, really kind of starting to put the finishing touches on their basement that was destroyed during the hurricane.
Wow.
So finally did that. Got a TV down there. Got a bar set up down there again. Not like that old one, but still a good one. And, just kind of coming along finally after so long, really putting the pieces back together. That's really what I was there helping my parents, so.
That's
really
awesome,
the
man.
extent of my Saturday. Called it an early evening. So.
Well, yeah, I had Saturday off, so, that was pretty awesome that you pretty much have a really, really good, had a really good day off, and, then going into Sunday. So, here I am. I got a decent amount of rest.
Good. Yeah, I gotta look for a rest, please. Tomorrow I'm going to be so busy. It's ridiculous. Tomorrow from when we record.
Well, tomorrow. Now, you want to tell the listeners what we're doing here as a historical first before we go into the next topic?
Tomorrow we will be attending. We will be invading the 25th anniversary, I should say, of Monday Night Raw. We will be at the Barclays Center, not the Manhattan Center, but we will be at the Barclays.
I wonder how those people got tickets for the Manhattan Center.
They just had to be just real quick on the button. Man, I tried, trust me.
Well, we're definitely going to be there. I can't wait. It's going to be an awesome time. And I also want to say thank you to the network for funding my ticket.
Well, now, wait a minute.
I appreciate it. No. That's what you said.
Now, wait a minute.
That's what you said. I thank you so much. Choose Commandos, Mormons, Militants. I appreciate the man right here funding my ticket here, showing me a good time.
This is not a network. It's not a network function. We're not doing anything for the network.
We're broadcasting. Are we not? We're going to be broadcasting from Barclays, are we not?
Well, yes, but...
Not taking Wang with... Oh, fine. You know what? Then I won't go. Yeah, you take Wang with you then.
Well, wait a minute now. Hold on. They won't let him into the building.
It's not my fault. I don't care.
He's not allowed in 100 feet from, arenas, schools, or churches. So
he's harboring illegal. He's harboring.
What? By the way, you still owe your dues for the More of the Same network, but we'll not get into that. We'll talk about that later.
Dues. I have a receipt, my friend, right here. Receipt.
I'll give you a receipt.
Right here. There you go. The only receipt that you're going to have is from the next buffet line. All right?
Oh.
In which we still have to go to the Golden Corral, my friend.
But yes, we will be broadcasting from the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw from our sweet seats all the way up on top, section 217 in the Barclays.
Hey, is Notaro going to be there?
Maybe. I think he is.
You may have a contact him. We should get him on the show.
Yeah, we should try and meet up beforehand.
Exactly. Meet up beforehand. Like, I have the day off tomorrow as well.
I do not.
Well, yeah, but then on Tuesday you have off, and I have to go back to hell.
I do have off on Tuesday, but man, tomorrow I'm leaving straight after work. Ugh. This will be worse than going to a hockey game, but it's going to be fun.
Oh, of course it's going to be fun, because it's not work-related.
Yeah. The retro gamers may drop a little bit later in the day than normal because of it, but tomorrow's going to be a good time.
Okay. Well, the man's busy, folks. He's got to take care of his network. He's got to take care of other priorities. He's got to have a good time over at the Barclays Center. We're going to make sure of that. So, hey, what can go wrong, right?
Well, did I say section 217? I meant the More of the Same suite.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Exactly. So, the network, see how he takes care of his
by section 217.
Right. Yeah, okay. Listen, I'm going to limit you to 5 hot dogs this time, okay?
How dare you?
Well, okay, fine. I'll eat 2 and you eat 3, and there's 5.
Rude.
All right, fine. I'll eat 3. You eat 2. How's that?
No, I meant Bobby Roode. Hopefully he'll be there tomorrow.
Oh, yes. Oh, well, God rest his soul. I wish it was Rick Rude, but, but yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, historically, so it's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We'll give you guys more info about that as we're
you'll hear it on the second half of this episode.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Of course. So, my friends, yes, your boys right here, Anthony Chu, Larry Mormon, we have made it on a worldwide... Oh, excuse me.
No, let's do it right. Ready?
Yep. Worldwide.
Terrible.
Scale. It's the communication factor amongst the internet. That's all. We have made it to a worldwide scale within the social media networks in the wrestling community. And do you know how we did that, Larry?
We featured a prominent musical number.
Right. So, Knothead, who basically was on episode 15, we did a 15 or 17-minute segment about an artist professionally named Knothead. And basically, he has a song called Jim Cornette that was off his latest studio album. And what I find very interesting about it was that we got in contact, we started talking back and forth, and he's really giving us a good promo because he does, I believe, a show as well, and he does, but I think he does video shows and stuff like that. And the guy's a great, very passionate, professional musician, and he tweeted it. Now, not on the Twitter machine. I just got back on it because of this, and he gave us a massive shout out on Knothead Music. So if you go to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Knothead Music.
K-N-O-T.
Yep, KNOTHEADMUSIC. And he gave us a massive shout out, and he tagged, guess who? Jim Cornette.
He did. He also tagged someone in the podcast world who's bigger than Jim Cornette.
Hey. Nobody's bigger than Jim Cornette. Nobody's greater than Jim Cornette.
More boisterous than Jim Cornette. Who can rock the mic, rock the podcast better than Jim Cornette. And I challenge Mr. Cornette to a pot off. The return of the pot off.
You don't want to stand and trade with me like I'm Jim Cornette, like I'm Jim Cornette.
But he tagged us, so that's pretty cool.
Right, and then he tagged Jim Cornette, and then Mr. Cornette retweeted his tweet. So now, not only are we known by Knotheads community, but we're also known by the cult of Cornette. How insane is that? And you know what was really interesting about it? When you look at the Twitter feed, your face was on there as More 365. Not mine, but yours.
More 365.
Oh, God.
Doing the whole RVD thing.
Yeah. Is that now called the More Terminator?
Well,
Not the Van Daminator, it's the More Terminator?
drink it in, brother. Drink it in.
Yeah. Yours is the 450 millimeter splash?
Ooh. All right, I see how this is going to go.
The 1 star? The 1 star snail splash?
Wow.
I can just keep going back and forth.
You know what?
On this,
you know what? I think our connection's getting bad. I may have to tune this episode out.
Oh, funny. Very funny. You know you wouldn't do that.
We're on track.
All I have to say is a huge thank you to Knothead.
Yes.
I definitely want to get him on the show, Larry. I would love to talk to him.
Yeah.
Get him on the show.
Get Wang on it.
Yeah, yep. I'll get my technical team on it because we have yet to pull one other historical first, which is we've never had a guest star on the show.
Not yet.
Not yet. Notaro may be the first, but definitely Knothead. I would love to have you on. And the most insane thing would be to have Jim Cornette on here.
Oh, imagine.
That would be even crazier. If Jim Cornette gets on this, Larry, you got to turn your mic off and let him talk.
What? Let me speak on this.
No. Let me speak because I'm a fan, not you.
Well, I didn't say I'm not a fan.
Well, but I'm a bigger fan than you.
This is true. I will admit that.
Who has a picture with the legendary manager known as James E. Cornette? I do.
All right. You're proving it.
And by the way, I have also stated, and I think I've emailed him this, that if he ever comes back to Monroe, New Jersey for the Legends of the Ring in June, he is Mr. Cornette. You are more than welcome to stay over my house. I have an extra room.
That's not.
I can take you to any restaurant you want, especially Wendy's. They have 2 brand new ones, so I could take you there. We will take care of it, and we'll roll out the red carpet for you, Wendy's style, baby. Hey, look, Mr. Cornette likes his Wendy's, and so do I.
Nothing wrong with Wendy's.
Look, man, there's nothing better than a double or a triple, and then you can get the burger towels over at jimcornette.com, right? So you look suave when you come out of there in your seat, right? And we'll go eat, and then pretty much I like my Frosty. How's that?
Frosties rule.
Frosties rock. Now, are you a chocolate or vanilla guy?
Oh, chocolate all the way.
All right, I like my vanilla, but chocolate rules. It edges out the vanilla for sure.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. So now. You ready for your favorite segment here?
Ooh, what do we got? Who's up on the chopping block?
Well. So, if you haven't heard since last week, and I've given this a lot of consideration, you know that I am a diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Yep, I have been calling for the axing of our stupid, blithering, dumb fuck offensive coordinator, Todd Haley. The guy is absolutely useless. I don't give a shit what anybody says. He has led us absolutely nowhere. The AFC Championship that we were in against your team, the Deflators, well, we basically lost that last year, and it was his fault. He didn't get us there. Big Ben got us there. There were times when we were a 500 team. We didn't make it to the playoffs. If Snoop Dogg gets on the Twitter machine or gets on social media and tells Mike Tomlin to fire this piece of shit, that means you got a problem. Most people normally don't piss off Snoop Dogg. But then again, because he's a Steelers fan. But then again, so finally, after what has to be seemingly like 6 or 8 years worth of this nutbag, we finally get rid of him. And finally, justice is served within this organization. And now our quarterbacks coach, Randy Fichtner, is going to take over as offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach.
Oh, wow.
So I just like to give Mr. Haley a huge thank you, fuck you, bye. But not only that, I'm going to add a little icing on the cake. Mr. Haley, do you know what happens?
Oh, man.
When you fuck with my serenity?
It's bad enough. You already gave him a thank you, fuck you, bye. Exactly.
So I am going to make it even more worthwhile. For 6 to 8 years, do you know what happens when you make a diehard fan of Steeler Nation, such as myself, frustrated, angry? It's like I went through the Kung Fu drive-thru and ordered frustration fries from you, you piece of shit. You know what happens, huh? Todd Haley? Todd Haley?
Hit him with it.
You are not my victim of chewed out this week.
Whoa, what?
Because justice is already served. You see, you're no longer our offensive coordinator, and you are being scouted out by the Cleveland Browns, the 0-16 Cleveland Browns. So not only did you fuck us up, but now you've left, you got fired, and now you're going to make sure the Browns go another 0-16 season next season when they hire you, you blithering dumb fuck. So you're already living in your own misery. You see, you're not my victim this week.
Ooh.
I'd like to turn your attention, ladies and gentlemen, over to someone that they call the serial stowaway. Have you read about this, Larry?
No.
So this lady's name is Mary Hartman, and she's
Mary
infamous.
Hartman?
Yes, Mary Hartman.
At WrestleMania 3.
I'm sorry. Marilyn Hartman.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm sorry about that. So Marilyn Hartman is infamous because for years, law enforcement agencies in several states have known for her to have this weird, endless, and bizarre habit of getting on planes without a ticket, a boarding pass, or a passport.
Wow.
Now, this fucking hatchet-faced looking bitch is 66 years old, all right? She has short, kind of white, blondish hair, and she was caught trying to get to Hawaii at least once in 2014. Okay, so she made it to L.A. The same year, trying to fly several times, boarding a plane from San Jose. Then she flew to Florida in 2015 while after boarding a plane in Minnesota. She was jailed in Chicago for the same year trying to bypass security at 2 major airports. At one point, she even got on, and some fucking how, she made it to London.
Wow.
All right? And in 2016, there was an Illinois judge that sentenced her to 2 years of probation at 6 months at a mental health facility where she'd already been staying after she was arrested again in Chicago O'Hare International Airport. And Hartman is back in the news because this time she made it to London. Listen to this. She sneaked past security in Chicago and boarded a flight to Heathrow Airport. Heathrow, whatever the fuck. She got through the security, for Christ's sake. Right? Now, TSA, meaning the most miserable fucking federal government employees on the planet or in this nation, I thought the post office people were miserable. These people actually make them look like a fucking Barney episode. All right? They pass through them. Right? Now, I don't like TSA people because you put these people in these positions where they have these uniforms and they all of a sudden now they think that they're tough guys because they think they're protected by the uniform. Fuck you. Right? And I don't understand something. It's like this woman has gotten away with so many times as she's been doing this. And it's like she also, a lot of media outlets have said that she goes into, like, she's a homeless loner. She's bouncing between women's shelters and motel rooms up and down the West Coast over the last decade.
She's a bane of existence.
Exactly. So she lives off the grid. She's a bane of existence. Did I also mention the fact that she's a hatchet-faced looking bitch, all right, who looks like one of the fucking missing members of the Golden Girls on crack, all right? And let's not even talk about which Golden Girl. And let's put it this way. What fucking amazes me is there's two ways that you could look at this. Is she considered a fucking genius because she actually got through security so many times? Or is it just that we are hiring blithering dumb fucks and morons who work for the security folks who can't detect her? Which one is it?
You're right. It's got to be TSA in my opinion.
I don't understand why she's not put in jail for years. You're breaching federal security.
Especially after this post 9/11 world we live in.
Well, here's what bothers me. They're fucking, look, if you look at Homeland Security, they're fucking monitoring some Muslim guy who owns a bodega in Queens, and they're fucking all these law enforcement folks are trying to track down the wrong people. Why the fuck is there nothing being done about this lady Hartman here? You don't go through all this and get away with it. If you and I tried this at least even once, we would be put in jail permanently,
absolutely,
probably for years to come. What the fuck? What the hell is going on here? So you know what? And I really don't need to read about this because there's a lot other shit going on. Between this brother love crap, this fucking Cactus Jack moron, all right, fucking Travis Scott, now this idiot Marilyn Hartman. You know what, Marilyn Hartman? I'm going to put you in the same category as that jackass P. Diddy and that moron fucking Scott.
Wow.
You know what happens, Marilyn Hartman? Huh?
Here we go.
Know what? Do you know what happens when you make news that I couldn't give a shit less about?
Do it.
But you make me waste my breath talking about you, you hatchet-faced, ugly-looking bitch. Marilyn Hartman?
Hit him with it.
Not only are you chewed out, but TSA, do you know what happens? Right? When you allow this person multiple times to get on and you screw up security, huh? You're lucky this is not North Korea. You'd get your ass put in a work camp.
Yeah.
All right? You know what happens, Marilyn Hartman and TSA?
Hit him with it, Chew.
You've both been chewed out.
Yes. Oos. Good stuff, brother.
Fuck.
Good stuff.
Jesus. Oh God. I don't even drink, and I want a stiff drink right now.
Jeez. Brother, you're all riled up right now, man. You need to take some. You need to relax. You need to cool down.
And I'm drinking coffee. Go figure.
I was gonna say. I think pretty soon it may be time to allow the violence to leave your body and enter the squared circle.
Now you know why I'm training in October. For October.
There you go.
And the training's been going good so far. So I'm trying to work with it, and we'll see what happens, man. Man, I am so amped up. I can't believe it, man. It just reading about stuff like this. There's so much going on in the world, and yet I have to hear about some stupid cereal stowaway. Really?
Yeah, it's dumb.
Fucking seriously? Come on. Damn it. So, fans, what we're going to do right now, I'm all riled up and everything like that. Man, I can go for another hour or two, but you know what? I think it's time that you and I basically head over to the Barclays Center. We definitely want to catch those trains and get there on time because we are going to actually do the second half of this episode live from the Barclays Center. Am I right? Larry, you want to give the fans some details?
Absolutely. We will be emanating from Section 217 at the Barclays Center live for the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw, which will emanate from both the Barclays Center and the Manhattan Center in the heart of New York City Monday night, January 22nd. Tune in at 8 p.m. on the USA Network.
This is going to be for the our first stop in the, just when we thought we were out, they pull us back in tour. So, ladies and gentlemen, just look for Larry and I. Very easy to detect. We're way the hell up, so you won't detect us. But if you do see an Asian guy and a Caucasian guy walking around together, you'll know it's the Yin and the Yang. So, folks, just come up to us. If you see us, hang out with us. I'm going to be more than likely wearing my red Shinsuke Nakamura shirt. Or I may be wearing something else. I'm not even sure. I may even be wearing my Suplex City shirt, to be honest with you.
I don't know what I'm going to wear. I haven't figured it out yet. I may have to wear my my Alexa Bliss shirt.
Okay. So if you see two guys in either a Suplex City or a Shinsuke Nakamura shirt, more than likely I'm not going to wear my Nakamura shirt because it's SmackDown, not Raw. Right. So I may just wear my Suplex City shirt as well as Larry wearing his Alexa Bliss shirt. Come up to us, hang out with us, talk to us. When we're going to be recording, we'll give you a shout out. Man, maybe even you can get on the air. Absolutely. So, so fans, we will catch up with you in a little bit. So we'll talk to you there.
All right. Well, we're back for the second half of the Yin and the Yang podcast, and we are here live at the Barclays Center for the 25th anniversary of Raw.
Oh, hell yeah. It's going to be a great show. People are already in their seats ready to roll. You see,
why are we sitting underneath the Canadian flag? What's going on here?
Well, at least now you know where we are, folks. So if there's an assassination attempt, now they know where we are. Thanks a lot.
So, yeah, we're in Canada. So we're at the Barclays Center, 25th anniversary of Raw. The simulcast happening both here and at the at the Manhattan Center. Manhattan Center, I mean, they were going for like $800 a ticket.
That is crazy, but I heard the setup is unbelievable. I also heard that supposedly you were supposed to be there at 4:30 in the afternoon.
That's what I heard. I heard people, they were doing a meet and greet. I don't know how accurate it is, but you're going to hear the woos. You're going to hear everything. So let's get down to it real quick. Let's talk about it. 25 years of Monday Night Raw. Can you believe it? Do you remember, like, when did you start watching Raw?
See, now I feel old. I started watching Raw, actually, I watched Raw at Ripple's house for the very first time because we didn't have cable in my house.
Really? So it wasn't even like episode 1? No?
Nope, not at all.
Right. You weren't privileged, or did you get stuck watching the Mid-Hudson Civic Center episodes?
Pretty much, yes.
Or where was the other one? Poughkeepsie, up in Poughkeepsie?
Oh, man, but those are good shows back in the day.
They were good.
You know?
I remember, I think, because, I used to watch Primetime before it. Primetime used to be on, and then, like, All-American Wrestling, and then it became Monday Night Raw.
Is that the same one that Heenan and Monsoon?
Yes, and also Heenan and Mean Gene would host as well.
The irony of it is that you can get on the network right now, look at Primetime Wrestling, and then watch Heenan and Monsoon just work their magic. They were so good.
Oh, they were amazing. We got lights moving. We got some time, though. We got some time. They're doing the pre-show right now, so you're going to see some lights going. This is going to be a very... Well, first, let's do this. Of all of us, of the crew, we grew up, born and raised in Brooklyn. Of the crew, there is one man who was the first one to make it to Monday Night Raw. And he's sitting with us right now today.
You're two-time USW heavyweight champion right here. First Monday Night Raw ever. They caught me twice on camera. The first time was when they were doing the theme song, and I held up a massive sign. You can go to the WWE Network and look for it for yourself.
No, I've watched it.
And there's a massive sign. Well, I think they blurred it out now, but it says WWF for life.
I think they blurred your face out.
They did not blur this pretty face out, okay? They don't blur greatness out, my friend. Now, you, on the other hand, I don't know, and I don't really want to know, to be honest with you.
Right. Well, that was at Madison Square Garden.
Right.
That was the first Raw at MSG.
Now, if you go back to that same show, Undertaker was doing an interview, and right in the middle of his interview, You cut to me, I'm standing up going, oh my God!
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
me for the second time in that same show.
And I was supposed to go with you that night.
That's right.
And I couldn't. I was axed. No, it wasn't my fault. I'm going to blame the parents on that one.
You sure you don't want to blame the guru? Oh, I mean,
No, I didn't know her. I wasn't in college yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I was still in high school.
You were not. That's right.
It was a school night for me. Woo! And that was the first Raw at Madison Square Garden. Let me ask you this. Raw 25 years. Do you think they should have had it at MSG?
Yeah, absolutely. Come on. Absolutely.
You don't think the Barclays is taking over for the it place in New York City?
Oh, the fuck you, New York Knicks. That's the reason why we don't have it there right now.
Well, I heard also it's production pricing. It costs money to broadcast to do TV from the Garden. That's what I heard.
Does it really?
That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true.
They
or
have
not.
a massive satellite sitting out there with 4 spotlights. I mean,
don't
come
know what
on.
to tell you. WWE's doing this. This feels like a pay-per-view.
With the way that it's set up, I mean, it says Raw 25 years. I mean, it's just, they really, really went all out in making the place look really good. It's decked out in red and white, man. Red and whites all over.
They showed on the pre-show some of the Manhattan Center that's starting to fill up. JR and Jerry Lawler are going to do commentary from Manhattan. And it is, they have, remember the neon sign, the WWE
I
neon
remember
sign?
that. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
there.
Oh, my God.
The little entrance is over there, the ring. Man, I mean, it's a pretty penny to get to Manhattan, but I think this is going to be fun.
Give me your 3 favorite Raw moments.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Well, I guess in no
you
particular
want to go back
order.
and forth, or do you just want to do 3?
We go back and forth. I'll go back and forth. I mean, I'm probably going to share some of them.
Okay.
One of them has to be Tyson and Austin.
Okay, all right. That was a good one.
Mike Tyson coming out.
See, we have a fan that agrees right here.
Tyson coming out. He's got his entourage, which if you watch on the network, he's got the same music as Floyd Mayweather. So I guess all boxers just come out to the same music.
God.
Tyson's in the ring. He has a smile on his face. It doesn't look like doesn't know what's going on. Vince just doing his thing, and then just that glass shatters. And when Stone Cold came out, you knew something was going to happen, but you didn't know exactly what was going to happen.
Oh yeah.
And the best part about it, you remember, like, the best line out of that. You may be the baddest man on the planet, but you're looking at the world's toughest son of a bitch.
Exactly.
And he goes, if your hearing's a little problem, I have a little bit of sign language for you. And when he says that, you see Vince's eyes wide open because he knows what's coming and no one else does. Then Austin flips Tyson the bird. Tyson says something to him, and then they get into that scuffle. And, JR, Tyson and Austin. And then the best part about it was at the end when Vince is just screaming, you ruined it all. You ruined it. That's one of my favorite moments.
For me, one of my absolute favorite moments of Raw was when Chris Jericho made his debut.
Okay, the Millennium Countdown.
He interrupted The Rock in his interview, or his promo, and you knew that countdown, something serious was about to happen, but we didn't know what it was. And then, what happened? Not only did the walls get broken down, but they broke the code.
That was later.
Y2J.
That was later. I'm a Jericho next to DDP. Jericho was my favorite from WCW, and I honestly didn't know he was the Millennium Countdown. Everyone there knew because everyone was chanting Jericho until they were playing if you remember, they did the Titantron after the countdown, and it went a few seconds, some scenes of New York City, but we don't know what's happening, and then just Jericho, and the place went nuts.
Oh yeah. For you to make a debut, you were a mid-carder in WCW. All of a sudden, you debut on Raw, and you are like one of the main attractions. It's like it shows you how much pull and how much the market value is for Jericho, even to this day.
And Jericho had some issues in the beginning. His WWE career in the beginning wasn't really looking too good, but he got his footing, and the rest is history. One of my favorite moments includes Jericho. It's the night he quote unquote won the WWE Championship from Triple H, but later it was stricken from the record. The match never happened, so he was never he was never declared champion. But for a good hour and a half, we thought he was WWE champion. That was probably the first time in Raw's history where I actually popped, like legitimately popped in my house when Hebner gave the fast 3 count, but when Jericho held that title above his head, I was like, you have got to be kidding me.
Yep.
I mean, he won it later that year. I think it was later that year. He became the first ever undisputed champion. That's one of my favorite. That's another favorite moment.
Okay.
Big time.
Give me a second one.
That was my second one.
Oh, the second one. I'm sorry. Give me a third one.
Okay. Well, third one's got to be the beer truck.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Austin coming down, spraying everyone down with beer.
Okay.
You see, who was it? It was Vince, I think, trying to swim in it in the middle of the ring.
Oh, yeah. That was good. I would say my third one is going to be Muhammad Hassan and Daivari are basically just, they're talking in the ring,
At the Garden?
Was that the Garden, right? Wasn't it when they fucked up Eugene?
Well, that was WrestleMania.
No, but then Hogan came out.
Okay. Eugene was at WrestleMania when Hogan came out. At the Garden, they were feuding with Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
And I have that video on my Facebook page. I was taping that. Were we there? Me, you, and Yari?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was the three of us.
And I started screaming like a little girl when Hogan's music hit, because that was like the first time you heard Real American in Madison Square Garden in like a decade.
We went ballistic that night, man. It was crazy.
That was a really good memory. Some honorable mentions. I guess it kind of goes without saying, we have to talk about the Owen Hart tribute show, the Eddie Guerrero tribute show. Unfortunately, these things happened. There was another tribute show that we will not mention, as that one has been erased from memory.
Oh, yeah, well,
But, Owen and Guerrero, those are very touching. Eddie Guerrero tribute show was actually, I think, Sasha Banks' first Raw she ever went to as a kid.
How about this one? The night my man, Mark Merrill, beat Farouk with Sonny as the manager, and he won the Intercontinental Championship. That was, I remember watching at home. I had finals the next day. I said, fuck the finals. I'm going to go watch this. Man, I cried that night when he won the title.
That was a rough 2 weeks with him as Intercontinental Champion.
Let's not mention that. Let's not fuck up my good time.
No, that was a good one. Raw's just got a broad history. What's your most... Uh-oh, we got an Eric Bischoff chant. He's in the building tonight. Remember that one? Remember when Eric Bischoff was announced as Raw GM?
That's right.
Whoever thought you'd see Eric Bischoff on Raw?
Unbelievable. Yeah?
What was your favorite, not era, because I think it's safe to say the Attitude Era is one of the best eras of the WWE. Set-wise, what was your favorite set?
Wow. Favorite set?
They've gone through a few.
I can't even think of them right now.
Well, you had the OG at the Manhattan Center. You had the one. Remember that entrance that had like the colored like outline, kind of like WrestleMania 8.
That's my favorite.
Then they had just the one with just the Titantron, the giant Titantron. Do you remember when Austin ripped apart the Titantron?
Yep.
I was at that one.
Wow.
That was at I think that was at Nassau, actually, Nassau Coliseum. Being out here, we grew up on the East Coast. I think they said 140 something episodes of Raw. No, like 170 something episodes of Raw in New York State alone.
Insane.
Woo! The lights are going again. So, who are you looking forward to tonight? Tons of legends are back tonight.
I will say this. Honestly, I'm not going to call of anything. I'm really, really going to do my best just to sit back, relax, enjoy this before I have to go back to hell tomorrow. Before I have to go back to hell tomorrow, my 9 to 5. I just want to sit back and watch this process play out. If I can get, though, I will say, if Hogan, Jericho.
Hogan's a long shot.
If Hogan, Jericho, that's why I won. Hogan and Jericho come out.
Rusev Day! Rusev Day! Rusev
Day! I don't know why they're chanting that, but okay.
Rusev's awesome.
The third thing is, no, it's really Mormon Day, but they don't know it. These idiots don't know it around here. Truthfully, what? How you doing? Excuse us, guys.
Thanks so much.
No problem.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's wild up here.
Tight up here.
Yeah, honestly.
Can I squeeze, man?
No problem.
Yeah.
All right.
No problem.
Oh, the Eric Bischoff chants are coming
That
back.
makes one of us. No, I'm kidding. All right. So Hogan, Jericho.
And if I can get long shot.
I don't think he's here tonight.
Oh yeah, that's right. Long shot may not be here. Iron Sheik.
Oh, Sheiky, no way.
Yeah, if Sheiky could just cut a promo,
Oh, boy.
that would be the funniest thing I think I would see all night, honestly. But if not, then, I just want to sit down and I just want to enjoy the process. That's all.
I have a feeling the only thing it's going to be, I'm trying to figure out, is it's going to be like just a glorified television show every time they cut to the Manhattan Center. I mean, we're going to be watching it on the screen, which is fine by me. I don't care. We're going to have a lot of action here, but supposedly the entire first hour is at the Manhattan Center.
When I hit Powerball Omega, we'll go to the Manhattan Center. Okay?
Yeah, well, I highly doubt they'll ever be back.
50th anniversary.
There you go.
If we fucking live that long.
So the final thing we'll talk about here, and we'll start to wrap it up. So supposedly some major announcements happening, an announcement that may change the course of the company.
Do you want me to spoil it for you right now?
No,
what
not at all.
Eric Bischoff did.
Not at all.
What?
Oh, we got some. All right. We got to go for copyright privileges. Ed, sign us off.
Hey, guys, take care of yourselves. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Be well. Take care of yourselves. Eat right. Work out. Stay in shape. God bless you guys. And other than that, we love you. We'll report back next episode, and you can't teach that. Peace.